If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son. Hello and welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you and published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the world. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment on this article, and don't forget to hit the notifications bell. This week's article is Cornerstones of the Craft, the 4 Cardinal Virtues in Select Works by Rudyard Kipling, by Brother Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd degree, read by Brother Matt Bowers, 32nd degree, and comes from the May-June 2026 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. During the 2025 biennial session of the Scottish Rite Southern Jurisdiction, a small book was distributed to attendees entitled The 4 Cardinal Virtues. In this book, I examined the 4 cardinal virtues of temperance, prudence, justice, and fortitude, which are a memorable feature of the first degree entered apprentice lecture of the Symbolic Lodge. Following our Masonic inclination towards the liberal arts and sciences, I explored what Masonic authors had to say regarding temperance, prudence, justice, and fortitude in writings both by men of letters as well as by various writers who had penned articles on these subjects in the New Age magazine, which is today the Scottish Rite Journal. The magnificent authors of the past who were Masons and commented on the 4 cardinal virtues and then appear in the pages of my slender volume include the poets Pope and Burns, the polymath Goethe, the dramatist Lessing, and Oscar Wilde, champion of the aestheticism movement. Yet one Masonic author who was absent from this discussion of the virtues was Rudyard Kipling, and the purpose of this brief essay is to amend this omission. After all, many Kipling poems, stories, and novels have direct Masonic references and indeed revolve around the royal art thematically, including The Man Who Would Be King, In the Interests of the Brethren, Kim, and Captains Courageous. In his literary works, Brother Kipling, like the aforementioned writers, offered his readers insights on temperance, prudence, justice, and fortitude. Kipling's poem If expresses all the 4 virtues to one degree or another. But perhaps where we can most admire the poem in this discussion is the light it sheds on temperance. The notion of temperance prevails in Kipling's short poem If, although nowhere here does he expressly use the term temperance. The poem reads in part, "If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and, which is more, you'll be a man, my son." Temperance, and indeed the path to manhood, is to exercise that moderation between being an inspired dreamer with high ideals and knowing when to leave behind the vita contemplativa, the contemplative life, for the vita activa, the active life. Moments for reason, contemplation, and introspection must be balanced with going beyond thought and bringing one's plans into action for the universal betterment of oneself and others. The cardinal virtue of prudence comes to the fore in Kipling's Masonic tale In the Interests of the Brethren. It is a tale of Fictional and Faith Works Lodge number 5837, a World War I era Masonic lodge in which one Mr. Burgess, the master of the lodge, tolerates brethren who have little knowledge of the craft's ritual or form. As the Faith and Works moniker of the lodge suggests, this is likely due to the lodge following the spirit instead of the letter of the law. Masonic form must give way to Masonic tolerance of wayward brethren to experience true Freemasonry. Yet, in the interests of the brethren, the master of the lodge is also exercising great prudence, for many lodge members are burdened soldiers in the Great War, and prudence dictates leniency, understanding, and forbearance to keep the lodge in a functioning state. We examine the cardinal virtue of justice in the eponymous poem Kipling wrote in October of 1918. In Justice, Kipling expresses the need that we loosen the sword of our justice upon earth before bidding new worlds to birth. Justice encapsulates not only going forward with justice as a principle to design new worlds and to set out on new paths, but also reckoning with and ruminating on past injustices and errors. We must do this, maintains Kipling in his poem, or else all else is vain. The reader might do well to compare this truism with that of Isaiah chapter 59, verse 11, that if there is no justice, we all growl like bears. We moan and moan like doves. Finally, in Kipling's famous tale, Rikki-Tikki-Tavi, a mongoose of that name finds himself on what will be for the readers of Genesis chapter 3 familiar terrain in confronting serpentine evil in a garden. It is here we experience the cardinal virtue of fortitude. When Ricky must confront the two cobras who threaten a family, we read, "He was afraid for a minute, but it is impossible for a mongoose to stay frightened for any length of time." This passage has the insight that fear is a natural emotion, but that we must sink deep within our inner natures, as the mongoose does, to find fortitude, which, like the cardinal virtues of temperance, prudence, and justice, resides within us innately and is awaiting an opportunity to spring forth. This brief essay is far from an exhaustive exploration of the four cardinal virtues in Rudyard Kipling's work. It suggests, however, bearing in mind temperance, prudence, justice, and fortitude provides a fruitful approach for the discerning Mason in the study of Brother Kipling's poems, stories, and novels.